And we are live. Good morning, Texas and Louisiana. You're watching on the Smart Money Culture TV network in your homes, on your TVs. And good morning, world. Joining on X, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and the rest. Always a pleasure here, guys. We are rounding off another week here. If your kids haven't gotten out of school yet, they are out of school, I think, today, right? A lot of the Christian and the Catholic schools are off today. There's a lot going on, as you know. Trump is really just on fire. He just did an interview with Logan. I don't know if it's Logan Paul or the other one. There's the two brothers. I should know that. Pretty interesting interview, really. I talked about a number of things. And then, of course, he was here in Washington, D.C. yesterday. And Thomas Massey came out and said, hey, he's dropping the federal income tax. So I wanted to just touch base on that. I mean, listen, federal income tax, there was no federal income tax before the Federal Reserve. Okay, the federal income tax, that's how they work their whole scam. Okay, the federal income tax is always as much as is needed to pay back the interest on the paper money that is fronted by the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve they pull about 3% on the paper money that they front. And it just so happens that the federal income haul is about what's owed. So in 2023, the government spent about $6 trillion. Let me not look at that number. The interest on the money that is loaned out or whatever, however you want to call it, it really is just paper money, but they get 3% for doing it, right? But the interest on that is $1.6 trillion, and it just so happens, okay, that the federal income tax is $1.6 trillion. And if you go back year after year after year, it's the same number. So I didn't used to really think that there was something there, but now I'm here to tell you there's something there. So if you end the federal income tax, you are going to really put a lot of pressure on to end the Federal Reserve, which has to happen. There's not supposed to be a central bank in the U.S., and that was explicitly fought against. One of the reasons why we got out from under Britain was because of their central bank. We knew that was a big problem. Our forefathers knew that was a big problem. So for the last 111 years, we've had this central bank, and it is a central banking cartel that runs it, and it's called the Federal. They called it the Federal Reserve, but there's nothing federal about it. And income tax was instated, the IRS, everything with these guys. Also, World War I started after the Federal Reserve Act. So these people have been in charge of the country for about 100 years. People are starting to figure it out. I've known for a long time, but there's now really people are starting to hone into the fact that all right, just sorry, I was reading a message. Okay. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So the federal income tax, and here's the thing about as well, the tax that they keep increasing. So before 1913, there was zero federal taxes. Okay. All the income came in through tariffs and everything like that. All right. And that's the way it should be. And in the beginning, too, it's supposed to be voluntary and all this stuff. And then it has just kept increasing. So in 1913, they put in a 1% tax. Can you imagine a 1% tax? Can you imagine a 1% tax? 1%. 1916, it was 2%. 1917, 4%. 1918, it was 8%. 1982, it had gone up to 50%. 1987, they brought it back down to 38. 1988, 33. Guys, these are huge numbers. But like most of us have had this our whole lives. We never knew any different. It's not like they really tell you in the history books or they cover it really, right? It is theft. And it's one of the reasons why the bloating of our government, and government never stops growing, okay, unless somebody comes in and chops and starts cutting out things like the federal income tax, like the Federal Reserve, like the different agencies, like the FBI, like the CIA, like the IRS, like all these other ones, right? But it's hard because no one ever wants to be the jobs cutting president, right? But it has to happen. It will happen. It will need to happen. So in 1988, it was 33%, 1991, 31%, and today it's 37%. 37% of everything you make. And the part that people don't realize is it's almost like it's so high because then they tax you on everything else as well. You're taxed like 40 or 50% on all the gas you put in the car. You're taxed every time you make a purchase off the money that you already were taxed on. What the central banking cartel did was they figured out a way to make people slaves but not realize it. Why? So like when you add in all the other taxes, I mean, if you're getting taxed 37%, once you add in all the other taxes, it's way more than 50%. But let's just say it's 50% because that's an easy number for everybody to wrap their head around, right? If I'm getting taxed 37% of my money that I'm making, and then I have all these other taxes every time I buy something, then yeah, it's easy 50%. It's half. Why, as a free man or woman, are you paying half of everything you make to a government that you don't even, that doesn't even work for you, refuses to work for you, actually refuses? We get the new Speaker of the House comes in, and what's the first thing that he says? The first thing that he says is not we're going to close the border, not we're going to fix tax situation, not that we're going to help your family, not that we're going to help or stop the population decline. Do you remember the first thing that he said? I do, because I couldn't believe it. My jaw hit the floor. First thing he said he was going to do was help Israel, a foreign country, whether you support him or not. Not here to talk about whether you support him or not. He's the Speaker of the House of the United States Congress. So it's crazy. I was floored. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, there you go. There you go. So, we have it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. But ending the federal income tax, and even if he's not able to do it, there's a lot of things. I hope, one, I hope that he gets in. Okay. Two, I hope that he's able to do some of this stuff that he's floating. I mean, obviously, if ending the Federal Reserve, ending the federal income tax, I mean, these are things that Kennedy tried to do, and they assassinated him, right? So if he does get in, obviously, these people are playing for keeps. I mean, all the wars are funded by the central bank. Everything that the government does is funded by the central bank. The central bank, that's how they fund it. There's no balanced budget anymore. I mean, that they tried to, I guess they still talk about that, but there's no balanced budget. Like, all they do is they just say mint the money, and they mint the money, and then they dilute the money supply, and then they try to keep inflation under control by their various mechanisms, interest rates, and market making and stuff like that. And market making is pretty brutal how they do it too, as well. Pulling the liquidity out of the market. They do it very well. I mean, if you have endless supplies of money, it's like I say too, I've always said that the US dollar is going to collapse and all this other stuff. And eventually, It will go to zero eventually. But if you had the power to tax the entire 330 million American people unfettered, you could tax them as much as you wanted, anytime you wanted. I mean, would you go bankrupt? Would you go broke? So they have a lot of power. It's a lot of power. They have a lot of power. So yeah, that's ending the federal income tax. I mean, so of course, my fear is that he gets in and then he's not able to do anything, right? And we know Trump, he's a deal guy too, right? Once he gets in, he's going to want to make deals in order to move things forward. I mean, that he is a business guy, and I get it. I talk about it all the time. We have to work together, right? Isn't that what I say? We got to work together, guys. We have to work together. And so I get it. But my fear is that he gets in and then he can't get anything done. And that's a very real fear. I think that it's quite possible that he's able to get in, but he's not able to do anything. It's quite possible that there's, I keep seeing, it's so funny, it's 22 million people have entered into the country illegally. Tucker told us. But I mean, obviously I knew that number was much more, but I keep seeing that first they came out, even the regular news, and they said it was like 10 to 15 million or something like 15 million, I think, came in illegally. And then I just watched, and I'm used to watching now the different, how the media works. And they went from 15 million to 11 million, and then it was 10 million, and then it was 8 million. And now the number they're floating around is 7.5 million. And that's like 3 times less. But I see even my colleagues and people were on the same team floating those numbers. I mean, I get it. They get pushed out and they put the meme out and blah, 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 and this and that. But it's way more than that. There's well over 50 million people in this country that have entered illegally. They were saying it was 10 million people for as long as I can remember. 10 million people had entered illegally. I mean, we're going back like 20 years, maybe longer. I'm getting old now. So there's well over 50 million people here. Of course, some of them are going to vote Trump. And if you don't think they're going to vote, you're fooling yourself. Of course, remember Obama and all these guys, there's no repercussions for them voting. They're told that they can vote, and there's no repercussions for them to vote. So of course they're going to vote if they want to. And of course, some of them will vote Trump, right? But a lot of them are going to vote, if they have family or if they're on the dole. You come here illegally now, and you get refugee status. And when you get refugee status, you're on the dole. Okay, people don't really understand how that refugee status works. First of all, it's for a lifetime. There's not like a expiration. It's hard for everybody to even get their head around. Okay, there's no expiration. So you get your benefits, which is money every month. I don't know exactly how much, probably $3,000 or $4,000, maybe more. You get housing as well. And I mean, I'm sure it sucks to go in there and wait for housing and, all the things you have to do, right? But you get housing. You get 3 meals a day. You get benefits, medical benefits. And I know people don't like to talk about it, but they get dental too. Of course they get dental too. What are you going to do if someone's teeth are rotting out? You got to fix the teeth. I mean, it kind of sounds like, so this is like a new special class people. So then why would you vote to end that? You won't. You won't vote to end that. you'll vote to whatever, you'll do whatever you can do to continue that. You're now in a foreign country. You probably didn't come from much. I don't blame the people that come here. I don't blame you at all. Not even a little bit. Maybe I would do the same thing. But it's a crazy situation that we have. It is an absolute, it's a crazy situation. And these people, if they vote, it's probably all over. Now, at the same time, I feel like, and I said this at Bitcoin Ben's event almost a year ago, 6 months ago at least. And that was that they were already, it's like the markets. Everybody talks about Saudi, and now they're not doing the oil anymore in US dollars and blah, blah, blah. That's going to make the dollar crash and everything else. I mean, guys, we've all known about this for a long time. That's all factored in already. Okay. And so I think that I said that they are planning on Trump winning, and they're just making sure that he can't do anything. It's actually the best play for them is to have Trump win, shut down the opposition that's ready to raise heck, right? All the people, all the big Trump supporters. So let him win and then just make it impossible for him to do anything. So we'll see. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But we'll see, right? I mean, who knows? So the markets are mixed. I do think they're about to rebound. Some of them are already rebound. If you hopped in TON coin, you're really happy right now. TON coin. Here, let's see here. Let me pop up my screen here. TON coin. Where's my TON coin? So this TON ecosystem is absolutely exploding. It's exploding here. Of course, this is Global Boost. Global Boost Media right here. Up a bit today. TON coin. Here it is right here. Look at that. Up 5, almost 6% on the daily. So we talked about TON coin on this show quite a bit, a number of times. Now, there's a massive supply. That's the one scary thing, but we could have a massive run on this coin. So 7.98 is what it's at. And people are starting to build coins on this chain. Okay. And let's just look at the 7-day. 7-day, we're up about the same. Okay. 1 month up 15% on the month. 1 year up 430%. Okay. All time up 1,800%. But if this makes a move and goes into the big boy club, like $100 range, stuff like that, this is going to be the big move. So remember, we had like Solana. I'm going to pull this down for just a second. Remember, you could get in BNB for dollars. You were able to get in Solana for dollars. You were able to get in Ethereum for dollars. You were able to get in Bitcoin for dollars. So if TON coin is one of those coins and you're able to get in for dollars and this thing goes to $100 plus, that is a really nice play. Now, some of the ecosystem that I've highlighted as well over the time, and I'm going to go back to the big boys in a minute here. But if we look at Insect, look at this one, up 16, almost 17, actually almost 18% on the 24 hours. Okay, so this is built on TON, and they have, look at this. So it's a 1 point. Where's the market cap here? Market cap, market volume, market cap, fully diluted market cap right there, 1.39. Okay, so this actually dipped. We had a pretty nice dip, which I loaded up my bag on. But you see, that's a small market cap, especially for what they have going on. So they're adding another exchange now. Let's click over to their Twitter. Here we go. Insect. So 168,000 followers on the Twitter. One of the first things that you notice there, right? They have a nice gold check here. It's live on Ton. The Ton ecosystem. This is their EVM development is completed. The multi-sig create airdrop working very well. Insect will be listed on DexTrade. DexTrade, I talked about this actually yesterday. So, as you get on more and more exchanges, that is what really, and see here, and this guy was right at Ted Pillows. Ted Pillows, give Ted a follow. What's up, Ted? You're on TV, bro. Insect aims to create a safe and secure environment within the crypto industry to effectively combating crypto scams and fraudulent activities. INS also has a buyback and burn mechanism, which will make it more scarce. Now, the buyback and the burns, you see, people are starting to get highlighted here as well. Unveil the top gainers on the top network. I guess they must be a little bit further here. There they are. So the Twitter is Insect VIP. And I am long Insect. Sometimes I don't get involved in the low caps, but sometimes I do. And I think that's a pretty strong one. Up 17%, almost 18% on the day. That was a nice day. If you bought yesterday, I talked about it yesterday. Their website is insect.vip. And it's INS. So they have a play to earn game as well. I'm going to share this tab. I'm verifying that I'm not a robot. There we go. They have a play to earn game, and they're launching a launchpad as well. Now, as the launchpad launches, launchpads are great because you're able to really launch, work with all types of different projects. And if you look at again what built Sol and what built BNB into these huge, and Ethereum into these massive companies, is the fact that they had all these different coins that they were working with. So pretty interesting. Insect, I'll get off my soapbox about that. Let's look at some of these other ones here. Bitcoin down still slightly. I think it's still factoring in. It's still figuring out the fact that there is no interest rate cuts. So as I mentioned a little earlier, when the markets factor in interest rate cuts and everything like that, because that affects the U.S. dollar. And actually, I put out a post about it yesterday. As that affects the U.S. dollar, as the U.S. dollar goes up, risk markets, stocks, gold, Bitcoin, obviously, they go down. And when U.S. dollar goes down, the markets go up. It's very crystal clear. So we see a bit of that as it goes. I think that it will pop. There we go. Look at that. All right. 1 month it's up over 8% on the month. On the 7-day, it's down 6%. On the 1 day, it's down just a little bit. But once things get pretty high like this, the numbers, 0.77, that'll make the rest of the markets move downward. So we can see Ethereum, though, is up 0.71 or on the daily, on the 24-hour. Down 7%, up 20% though on the month. So if you entered back here, you're pretty happy. And now if you entered, a while ago, it's up 100% from 1 year. And that's crypto for you. BNB up about 0.5%. Solana down. Solana has been recoiling a bit. And we see that 147.98 right now. XRP about the same percent down. Both of them nearly 2% down. The doggy coin, my favorite Doge, as everyone calls it, down about 1%. Tom coin, look at that though, huh? 6%, almost up 6%. So market's very mixed. Then if we look over at oil and gas, well, first, Hong Kong Stock Exchange. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange is one that I always look at because that's the strongest market over there in Asia. So we do have some green on the Asian stock indexes, but the Hong Kong Stock Exchange is down about 1%. So down week kind of all around. I mean, the CPI numbers came out good, or I would say lower than forecasted. But the thing I think everyone's starting to realize about the inflation numbers, they're totally jacked up. It's totally fake numbers. Inflation is through the roof. Inflation's so high. Why is inflation so high? Because they're printing so much money. That's why taxes have to be higher. That's why they're figuring out how to tax more this coming year. They have to figure out how to take in more taxes because we're going to owe more on the debt that we supposedly owe the central bank for the paper money. Oil is, I think, down slightly, but it's kind of tepid. Yeah. Oil down slightly. I do think that oil is going to have a good run here. I'm long oil. Oil moves slowly sometimes, so I'm not expecting a quick return. But I do think that oil is going to move up. I think that the dollar kind of artificially kept prices down, and then they kept the price kind of the same, and then they just worked the inflation number in order to move things back and forth. But oil is a very good indicator on what is on the economy. How good is the economy moving? Let's look at DXY here. DXY is the U.S. dollar against a basket of other currencies. So the U.S. dollar has continued to move up. I talked about this on my X yesterday. 105.55, up 1/3%. I think this was up over 0.5% yesterday. So again, as the U.S. dollar moves up, so does the markets move down. If you're not following me on X already, make sure you follow me on X. Let me see here. Where's my post from yesterday? Haha. I was ice skating with my Bella. So this is something I talked about. People were asking where the gold was. And I said, look, the gold is in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. With the help of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Executive Order 6102, and most people don't even know this. If you watch the show, you know this. Central banking cabal, I meant to say cartel, but cabal works too, stole everyone's gold, giving them paper money. Giving them paper money. Where's my tab? And for their $25 per ounce in the Fed and get our gold back. I'm going to reload this page. All right, some fun tweets there, but that's not the tweet I was looking for. The post I'm looking for is... Well, this is an interesting one. This one garnered some attention. I said ending illegal federal income tax will create a baby boom like we haven't seen in this country in a century. The economy will boom, peace will spread, wives will stay home instead of working all day, our youth will thrive. This is the best idea you've ever had, Donald Trump. And that's just to Thomas Massey. I just screenshotted his post on X. Most intriguing policy idea, he said, from the GOP meeting at Capitol Hill Club this morning. Trump briefly floated the concept of eliminating the income tax and replacing it with tariffs. That is the way forward right there, guys. That is definitely the way forward. All right, let me just search. I'm not pulling up the one that I want here. Did you guys see this? Zelensky, he went to a press conference. Looks like he's having a rough time there. This is interesting as well. You know, the U.S. dollar is not going to last forever, like they say. Since the 19th century, this is the run of U.S. dollar. Seems like we're having a little bit of network issues today. I don't know why. I pay a lot for this internet. Anyway, the rise in the of the U.S. dollar. Of course, everything was dominated by another currency over the years. Of course, the British pound was massive for a long time. It was just absolutely massive. But Yeah, it's uh, so today it's obviously it's a bit of an interesting show. It's a little bit different, a different run. My good man Matt Dixon is running his launch of a relaunch, I guess, of Eve, and so I didn't get the word so much that he wasn't going to be here. So you get me a lot today, but I think that Crypto Ratings AI unveiling the future with Matt Dixon. So, uh, anyway, there's a lot going on. There's just a lot going on. I think that if we can, and I'm a revolutionist at heart. I'm also a realist when it comes to what can happen. We can take the country back. The people are much more powerful than the oppressors, and they are our oppressors at this point. But we have to stand up. We have to do it together. That's for sure. You can see even what they're doing with Alex Jones. Alex Jones is one of the first guys sounding an alarm about a lot of this stuff, and he now owes the Sandy Hook people 1.5 billion. And I'm not saying that Sandy Hook was correct or incorrect. I will say this: he was right about everything else. So it seems interesting to me that he would be wrong about Sandy Hook, but maybe he was. Nobody bats 1,000, as they always say, right? So who knows? Maybe. So Trump is in Detroit. The Trump rally in Detroit. That is today. Over the weekend, he's going to be in Detroit at the People's Conference. The People's Conference, set up by our friends over there at, let me just run that thing. Trump in Detroit. If you haven't got your ticket, get your ticket. Trump in Detroit, June 14 through 16. The Turning Point People's Convention. Use code IMPACT MONEY for a 25% discount. The big man will be there himself speaking. So we're calling it a Trump rally. Trump rally. Let's see here. It's called the People's Convention by Turning Point. The Turning Point does a great job. We are planning to be there. It'd be great to see you. Here we are. People's Convention. The People's Convention. We have everybody's going to be there. Of course, the great Donald Trump. Donald Trump will be on location speaking at the People's Convention. Use Impact Money for a 25% discount on tickets if you haven't already got them yet. We have Charlie Kirk, Vivek Ramaswamy. We have Ben Carson, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Governor Kristi Noem, Candace Owens, Senator Rick Scott. We got Jack Prosbiak, Roger Stone, Benny Johnson, Bishop Aubrey Shines, Kim Garfoyle. We have J.D. Vance, Senator J.D. Vance, Mike Lee. Mike Lee has been floating in the Fed now, I think, kind of off and on for a little while. The thing is about these guys, a lot of them, they'll float it, but then they just get such backlash. And people don't like people. It's like the flea that only jumps so high if you put the thing on him. Like the American public, well, we can't do that. We can't do that. Well, of course we can do that. We have to do that. Ending the federal tax will accomplish a lot. I like that step because who doesn't support ending the federal tax? Like a lot of people don't know what they think about ending the Federal Reserve. They're just not sure. But pretty much everybody wants to end the federal income tax. So I like the way he's thinking. End the federal income tax. But anyway, you have to end the Federal Reserve. You have to do it. Lee Zeldin is going to be there. Matt Gaetz, Brandon Tatum. We have Eli Crane. Eric Burlinson, Tim Klingenstein, Scott Pressler, the great Scott Pressler, the great Mike Lindell, James Lindsay, Warren Davidson, Michael Cloud, Byron Donalds, Rebecca Weber. We have Eric Underwood, Harmeet, James O'Keefe in the house. James O'Keefe will be there. Marjorie Taylor Greene, and of course, Michael Watley, all of them on location there at the People's Conference. Says it starts in 2 hours. That's the open up time there. I might have to hop in the car and just head over there, or a plane. It's not that far. I could drive it, but I'd probably fly. But that's the People's Convention. The People's Convention by Turning Point. Make sure to get your tickets if you haven't already gotten your tickets yet. June 14 through 16. The movement, what we have with the MAGA movement is a movement. It's a worldwide movement as well. It's something that is it's very special, and it's the people love the guy. I mean, whether you don't like him or not, the people love the guy. People support Donald Trump, and so I hope that we can work things out. I think that I think the country is really in a spot, whatever way you take it, and that's one of the reasons why I do the show, because you guys really want to make sure that you're making the money. You want to make sure that you're making the money so that you can take advantage of these market trends, because people are really doing well, and you need to be doing well too, so that you can participate and so that you can really move ahead. You want to be able to move ahead, so that's going to be pretty cool. Of course, the summer is heating up as well. That's pretty cool. We have our UN Blockchain Week. I started to put together as well our UN Blockchain Week website. So the UN Blockchain Week is going to be September up in New York, obviously. So the UN General Assembly is the 12th, September 12th through the 28th or so, basically to the end of the month. So the UN Blockchain Week, unblockchainweek.com. Not done with the site yet, but putting it together. There's a variety of different events that are happening that time. Currently we've designated about the 19th through the 28th, or the 18th through the 28th. It's about a 10-day span. But there's going to be a lot going on. We're going to do one of our galas there as well. And you're probably going to want to be all right, I'm back. My internet is slow, so I won't keep loading that. But pretty excited about that. That'll be UN Blockchain Week. That's going to be the end of September there. We'll do one of our galas as well. And we're putting together a lot of stuff with the Smart Money Culture TV network. So the Smart Money Culture TV network is the network where we're on TV in Texas. Texas is actually the 4th largest economy in the world. And it's booming there, and there's a lot of disposable income. So when we are on TV, we do this show every day. We're going into, just now, 7 million is our reach at the moment, but we're growing a lot. And so many of you I'll be reaching out to and talking to over the next bit, if I haven't already. We're putting together the funding as well, so that we can grow and so that we can get on more TVs. We're going to do it anyway, but it helps a lot. And actually, what we're telling most people is that we don't need your money. Okay, we don't need your money. What we need is your credit lines, because we need to be able to have the ability to move quickly when we need to, and that makes a big difference. So Smart Money Culture TV, you can check that out. You can check out the website. It's smartmoneyculture.tv. Let me just see if I have a banner queued up here. The Smart Money Culture TV network live. Okay. All right. Impact Live on the Smart Money Culture TV network. Yes. And that's smartmoneyculture.tv. Seems slow now. What's going on? Well, it's live television. It's live television. So get involved. The Smart Money Culture TV network, the smc.tv is the website. You can check it out. You can click the button to get involved. We're growing a lot. We have a big voice right now. We're reaching millions of people on their TVs, and it's a pleasure every morning to have the Impact Money show on your TV in Texas and Louisiana, and as well as streaming. We love all of our audience from streaming as well on X and on LinkedIn and all the rest. It's always fun to do these shows, and very informative, and all these other things, But we're at a point where in the growth of everything that we can do something very special. Okay. And we have a lot of time right now, and we're adding more stations, but we have time to have different projects that are on here. If you're if you want to do a reality show, if you want to do, if you have something that you want to sell, the things on TV sell. If you look at the numbers, everybody of course pushes social media. Social media is easy. I get it. And social media is great. Okay. But TV, the ROI on TV is absolutely amazing. For every $7 for every $1 you spend on TV, you make $7. I mean, that's crazy. Think about if every $1 you spent on social media, you made $7 for. For every 100, you made 700. For every 1,000, you made 7,000. I mean, that's crazy. Those are crazy numbers. And those are the TV numbers. That's the TV numbers. So setting up the network like this and really owning these stations is massive. And then also, of course, working with the social media and having it throughout there. But TV is one of those things, a lot of you turn on your TV. I'm here every morning, right? And maybe I'm in the background while you're getting ready. Maybe you're still up. I don't know. But we do the show every day, and we talk to you. And of course, we talk to everybody on social media too. But TV is very interesting. TV is that's how you reach the masses, and that's what the big guys know, right? People turn the TV on and they just leave it on. And it's just it's just in the background, right? And it just plays all day. Maybe not you so much. Who knows? But it is a lot of fun. We love doing the show, and we're going to continue. We are we've done it now for, I think, 6 months. So looking forward to a 1-year anniversary. And it has been life-changing. It has been absolutely life-changing for one, waking up early like this every morning, 5 a.m. in Texas, we're on TV. So I'm waking up about 5 a.m. here in Washington, D.C., but it has kept me on a pretty rigorous schedule. So, well, it has been an absolute pleasure, guys. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We will be working over the weekend. Hopefully, we'll be in Detroit as well. Coming to you live from the Trump rally. I'm signing off. Cheers.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.